Breaking news now from Blue Eye Media. And now from our global friendly partners.
The Trump administration is flooding the zone, not just with information, but we're now learning the plan is to flood the zone with ICE immigration officers in Democratic cities across the country. This plan will go into effect as soon as this week. According to Tom Homan, who is Donald Trump's border czar, former acting ICE director, he has said that the Trump administration will be flooding the zone with immigration officers in key Democratic sanctuary cities across the country. These cities include places like Chicago, Portland, Seattle, Los Angeles, and potentially elsewhere. And this is starting now. The Trump administration is sending in over 10,000 new federal enforcement officers, and the point of it is not just to scare individuals on the ground, but also to enforce this police-like state that the Trump administration has long sought to impose on American civilians. This does not include the imposition or deployment of the National Guard. This is strictly federal immigration officers. The National Guard is separate and apart from that, but we do expect the National Guard to also be deployed to a number of these cities, including Chicago, in the coming weeks. But let me just put it to you in this way. The Trump administration is targeting Democratic cities, blue cities, because of political and personal reasons. They are not targeting Republican-led cities. They are not targeting red states. They are targeting blue cities and blue states, and they are expected to flood the zone with thousands of new immigration enforcement officers across the country this week. So if you live in these cities, be prepared. Meanwhile, the National Guard will likely soon be deployed to a number of these cities, but we're learning right now that the National Guard in Washington, D.C. has extremely low morale. Morale is falling again amid new reports that National Guard soldiers are literally there in Washington, D.C. to pick up trash and quote-unquote beautify the city. And as a result, morale among National Guard troops is really falling to an all-time low. They're there for an indefinite period of time at least. They don't know when they're going to go home. They're not being paid as much as their regular jobs pay them. And so they're upset. They don't know what to do. Before I continue, please consider subscribing to support my work or sending a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas. Your support allows me to fight for the truth every single day. Right now, there are more than 2,200 National Guard troops on the ground in Washington, D.C. Deployment costs about $1 million a day. And while there is lower crime in the city, crime has not stopped, and the National Guard has not impacted the lowering crime. That is due to increased federal law enforcement presence, not due to the presence of the National Guard. And meanwhile, United States sheriffs across the country, including those in Republican-led sheriff's offices, Trump allies specifically, are criticizing ICE and the administration for using local deputies' email lists to recruit officers. Right now, the Trump administration is offering new ICE officials $50,000 in hiring bonuses, up to $60,000 in student loan forgiveness, and much more. They are offering ICE officials more benefits than they are the average federal worker, who is not entitled to these tens of thousands of dollars in signing bonuses or student loan forgiveness benefits. Student loan forgiveness is common in the federal government, but not to this extent. And these sheriffs, many of who are allies of Donald Trump, are calling this new hiring effort unprofessional, unethical, and damaging to already strained local law enforcement resources. Meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security is defending the move as an expansion of ICE under the Trump administration's newly renewed push to hire more ICE officials. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has renewed his feud with Rosie O'Donnell. Every time the Epstein files become front and center, Trump tries to pivot to Rosie O'Donnell. And once again, he's suggesting that he may strip this American citizen of her citizenship. He cannot do that. There are extremely limited cases in which an American citizenship can be revoked. Those are cases of fraud. Trump does not have the basis to revoke Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. But what he is doing is trying to distract the public, flood the zone with information this time, from the Epstein files. He doesn't want people talking about the Epstein files. And with this post, he posted a very unflattering image of Rosie O'Donnell and Governor Gavin Newsom of California clap back, punch back, and essentially posted his own bad image of Donald Trump looking extremely old and frail on his Governor Newsom press office in an effort to troll the Trump administration. The economy is showing some signs of slowing down. New reports show that U.S. private payrolls rose by only 54,000 in August, missing forecasts of 65,000 and signaling a softening labor market blamed on Trump's tariffs and immigration crackdown. Layoffs have surged 39% to nearly 86,000. Job openings have fallen below unemployed levels for the first time since COVID, and the unemployment rate is now expected to tick up to 4.3%, adding increased pressure to the Federal Reserve to consider a September rate cut despite lingering effects of inflation. U.S. holiday spending is projected to fall 5.3% this year to $1,552 per person, according to a new PwC survey. This is the steepest drop since 2020. Inflation, trade policies, and economic uncertainty are driving 84% of consumers, especially Gen Z young people like me, to cut back, with gift spending expected to plunge 11% and Gen Z budgets shrinking 23%. Nearly 445,000 employees have lost union protections in the month of August as agencies enforced Trump's executive orders by voiding collective bargaining contracts at 9 separate federal executive agencies, with the administration citing national security, but critics calling it the largest act of union busting in United States history. Donald Trump is now suggesting that New Orleans may be next to receive National Guard deployment due to what he calls a crime problem. The Republican governor of Louisiana, Jeff Landry, welcomed the support, while Democratic city officials, including the council president, criticized it as unnecessary. Donald Trump has officially petitioned the United States Supreme Court to overturn a federal appellate court ruling that struck down most of his sweeping tariffs introduced on April 2nd. These tariffs are the Liberation Day tariffs. They're the 10 to 50% tariffs on countries across the globe. And he wants the Supreme Court to strike down a ruling that said that Trump exceeded his executive authority in executing these tariffs. The Trump administration escalated its conflict with Venezuela by launching a deadly strike on the drug smuggling boat earlier this week. Trump accused Venezuela of being a, quote, very bad actor and has pledged to continue striking these narco-terrorist vessels in the Southern Caribbean. A hot mic moment at Beijing's World War II anniversary parade captured Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin discussing advances in biotechnology, organ transplants, and the possibility of humans living to 150 years old or achieving immortality. Meanwhile, Donald Trump will host a dinner tonight with more than 24 technology and business leaders, including Mark Zuckerberg, Tim Cook, Bill Gates, and Sam Altman from OpenAI. That's all the news right now. If you want to support my work, make sure to subscribe today, spread the word, and I'll see you this evening with another rundown.
Follow Blue Eye Media for exclusive insights and breaking news sources from global-friendly outlets that you'll never get from the mainstream cable TV and antenna radio or satellite outlets. Learn how to play the flute of the world and learn the real facts.